Okay, welcome back. Our next talk is a field guide to Nix at the corporate. Let's welcome Alex.
Hello, guys. All right, so a bit of a bait of switch, but intended. It will be more survival guide. And the point is, like, we all want to work at scale. We want all to have challenging issues, and we want all to matter greatly. And this usually comes with the territory of corporate, but we avoid this word, avoid the enterprise, because it also comes with the burden of many, many other things. So moving forward a little, why give this talk at all? You might be thinking, yeah, the guy is wearing black polo, so yeah, that's first giveaway of corporate. Maybe he loves his voice so much, maybe he desperately wants to get some YouTube attention, maybe he has nothing technical to contribute, maybe I crave attention. All of those can be true, like they're not mutually exclusive to what I will be talking about. But the main thing I want to do is, I don't know if you had the feeling when you're arguing with someone and he says something so weird that you really have like kernel panic in your head. Like the stack get drops, you don't know what to say. So in corporate, this happens all of the time. This is most of your work. And my goal with this presentation is to arm you with the weird situation I have come across so that you don't have the segfault, you don't get the kernel panic, and you can hopefully argue your way over different situations. I promised an adventure and a catalog in the synopsis, so I'm not shying away from that. We'll do a bit of a little imagination journey later. But first, a small introduction. When I mean corporate enterprise, yes, so we say it's a fable land, and it's a bit like a reverse agile manifesto, if you think about it. So you care greatly about processes and tools. Individuals doesn't matter. The process is the greatest good. If you have software that works 3 out of 5 times, good enough. Why are you touching it? Don't touch it. Move it to the next thing. Contract negotiations. So you don't really want to collaborate. You want to have your contract set in stone and maliciously follow it to the letter. This is the word of the corporate. And then we have a following plan over responding to change. I need to learn how to type, but yeah. And from another angle, we can say that we have politics over an actual thing that you would like to work. If you're in the land when you have highly hyper-specialized teams that don't talk to each other, this is the corporate. Like one team will be doing Git commits, another team will be, I don't know, writing code. It's not so far from truth, it's not funny. Yeah, the worst thing that can happen in corporate work is ownership. Like the big O word is forbidden, and if you would try to get some more ownership, that's very frowned upon. Don't do that. And most likely corporate at large succeed in spite of the inefficiency. Sometimes they are very big, sometimes they spend a lot of resources, but they are inefficient as hell. So again, careful what you wish for. Big scale comes with that kind of theory. And now I'm getting even more enterprisey. Corporate people love mission statements. So let's do mission statement for our presentation. I will spare you reading this, which is indeed very corporate-y, but I will really try to educate you a little with these big moments of being stupidified. Another thing is why you should listen to me at all. And I can say I have 8 years of using Nix at corporate, but I think the better claim to fame is over the last 8 years, at every big corporation I worked, I managed to sneak the Nix in. And it actually started to be a thing. So I think there is something at my capability to fight off with the nonsense. This I have to say, it's not a single company. I just took the worst cases from all of my career and slammed them together. And the challenge, like, I don't know if anyone has a beer or something, but if you heard it before, please take a sip. Yes, so let the adventure begin. Let's choose the game mode, right? How are we feeling? I am feeling like taking the tutorial mode. I don't want to scare you away, people. So let's stick with the tutorial. Then we will do the character creation. DevOps, architect, consultant. I am on the top left. I am choosing myself here in this game mode. My pluses is I think I know what I don't know, but I am extremely vulnerable to strong opinions with no technical backing. That's my trigger, and it will come across the presentation. So let the journey begin, and I'm a bit... Okay. This is a wall of text, but initially I just want to roleplay it a little. Imagine that you get your chance in a big corporate world. This is like a rational packet incorporation, and they are doing docket station. And they have been doing it for years and years, and every enterprise loves the docket station, simply because you can enforce policies there. So it's a hardware. And now we have the problem statement, right? You have been hired because they have an internal package manager. It's written by them, it's bespoke. It doesn't really build anything. They are just pre-building it as they go and slapping their management on the top. It doesn't trace dependencies because, yeah, like they just have created it like that. It always worked like that. And instead of like passing around files, they pass around symlinks. It's getting better. So that's already an issue, but yeah, they just love rel. And they assume a lot of rel things are there, even though it's an embedded device. So the deployment, as I have mentioned, embed x64 host because reasons. And some of the parts of the software are also built on the docking station itself because it's fun, right? So the goals of our little adventure. We want to have minimal functional deployments. We want to recreate previous deployments. If something goes away, wrong, I just want to roll back quickly. And I want to quickly switch between those. It sounds like Nix. It's needed. And reasonable minds, it's also legal term, right? If you're a reasonable person standards, it will be the Nix to go. And you have been hired to use it. But now, we have meeting games. You are the consultant, you are in the company, and you will be facing a lot of people inside who have opinions, strong opinions. And it's not to their taste that you're using the Nix. So you will be essentially here meeting three kind of enemies, adversaries, whatever you want to call them. There's excuser, and that kind of person jumps on every possible excuse not to go with a new thing. We have cargo culture, so just because people are doing it, it means you have to do it. It's also very famous at the corporate land. And finally, this is my favorite, is not a real engineer kind of person. I will share it later. It's the higher you go in the corporate ladder, the more you will get of that. It's not, they will tell you that you are not a real engineer. So let's first meet the rational packager architect. He's the excuser, and here are the most like spooky things. So first off, you meet up, and he's saying to you, he did a bit of a research on Nix, he read on Reddit a few things, and it will not really work because it won't be reproducible, because it will be running on a real machine and not Nixos. So you're taking a deep breath, and surely you can rationally argue your way out of the situation. So you explain everything, you explain the whole triad of Nix, Nix packages, Nixos, everything is well, you take a deep breath, right? I'm sorry, but then, well, another problem occurs. Like okay, you're right, maybe it will be reproducible. I don't really know what it means, but it will. It has less packages that rational package thingy has. And you're like, surely that's not true. Let's compare, right? And you show him the Nix packages, the rich environment, everything that it is there, and it just like it's really small compared to what they have internally. And he finally gives up. But then a glimmer of hope lights in his eyes. You know what? Nix does not have package internal to the corporation. Like, it's no go. We cannot use it. It's literally unusable because we don't have the internal packages. So, as a rational person would do, you're taking a deep breath and you're saying, okay, I will show you how easy it is to describe the packages within the company. So you do that. And you learn that it's difficult to learn. And it's a waste of time to learn a new thing when the old thing is working just well. And at this point, you might be at the exhaustion, because you are literally hired to introduce Nix, and you are being told that it's a waste of time and why change it. Here you have a couple of options. What I would suggest is to stop brute forcing your way technically, because you are not dealing with technology challenge really. What you are dealing with is emotions, and you have to address that emotions, and you have to make sure that the person who is an excuser type will feel that he will have plenty of time to learn, that those derivations are not scary, and that he will only have to write it once. So you start to working your way, I hope, in this angle, because the technical discussion is getting nowhere. But then we have this. He did a bit more reading and goes back to you, and it's like, yeah, I've read a bit more, and I have another worry. So the way you are packaging things, NARS, is not accepted standard for our company. So we cannot literally use it. It's unusable, and we cannot do anything about it. You might laugh about it, but because this is an atomic option, because it means you have to go through committee to make the NAR accepted. So again, you have two options. You go through the committee, and you are 2 months behind, or again, you have to show the guy that underneath there is nothing scary, there are no dragons in there. So we start to explain the concept because you are a good technical person. Wrong. Nix is replacing all daytimes, so it's always the Linux epoch. How will I know which archive is newest? And at this time, I really had a kernel panic. But you really have to explain them okay, it's not end of the world. Maybe up to this point, you were using daytimes. But because we have the list of the requirements, remember the list of requirements? We are reproducible, we want to have the same thing, and if we want to compare the same things being differently, the datetime has to go, so maybe use semver or something. And then you go into discussion about semver, but it's beyond the scope of this presentation. I will speed up a little. Then you have the discussion. What if someone injects a script into a package in upstream Nix packages? That's a great one because it illustrates that the person didn't really understand what they were reading. But you have to go through the motions of its input base, or maybe it has content address storage, and you start describing the signing and what's not. But effectively, this route, again, you're dealing with. This is not a technical argument, it's an excuse. The best way to respond to this is compare it to RPM or whatever, because if you start going the technical route, yeah, no control is fine, but then Nix does not have security scanning. And again, you can do technical or not technical. If you do not technical and you start doing what I like to call whataboutism and do RPM doesn't have it, other things that doesn't have it, it usually takes it away. But my natural response is argue that, what are you talking about? There are tools that do the scanning, right? So let's see what happens if you say that. Okay, but our thing through which we serve stuff doesn't support the scanning. Artifactory, Nexus, some S3 buckets, they don't scan it for you. Who will take responsibility for the security? And again, you might feel like you are getting punched, but usually what helps here is appeal to the fact that there are security people in the company and pulling them in, because that stops everything usually in track. It never goes anywhere. Okay, there is some additional stuff. You can go into discussions of there is no whitelisting, blacklisting, there are no ACLs in Nix caches. Again, you can go the technical or non-technical route. Assuming that we are going the technical route, you will very quickly go to the point of assuming that we have created everything the way we want. What if our users are not as skilled as we want them to be, and instead of using our internal boost that was modified greatly, they will pull up the upstream boost, and everything breaks. And again, what I recommend is recognizing that at this point you are dealing with excuses, because that's like this can happen even with the old system, with the new system, and you have to really try to be laser focused that you are not solving the problem you were there to solve in the first place. So you need to like say like, okay, but that's not the problem of the technology. I really need to speed up. Okay. Another great one is Nix is not supported by the vendors because it interfaces with vendor packages. So literally what I advise here is just say that if it breaks, we can reproduce it without Nix and show that it broke again. Otherwise, this discussion will be perhaps taken to the legal. If vendor releases a new package, Nix definitions are needed. Like new definitions are needed. Again, like you do some reading on the internet and you're getting blasted in the face like Qt 5.1 and we will upgrade to Qt 5.2. It requires complete new Nix definitions. That is not true, but try arguing it. It doesn't go well. You just have to fall back on the fact that like it's simply not like that and send them to the documentation. That is one of my favorite. That was an actual argument. We cannot use Nix because Nix functional languages are a thing of the past. And again, you can recognize the pattern of excuse. It doesn't really mean nothing. The tool is suited for the purpose. And here, it is a rare case when showing the functional languages at hand that are thriving helps. That is like, this will move us closely to the next time. Nix is too difficult and does not give any benefits over Docker, which uses YAMLs. And there's so much to unpack here. But the key argument here to take away is, I like to type in natural language within the YAML, and I don't want to put any effort into learning anything. And again, it's like an emotional thing, and you need to do a bit of massaging, like, we'll help you, we'll be there to support. Okay, spinning it up. Infrastructure architects, usually those are the cargo cult people, and usually it comes with the Docker. So why use Nix at all? We will put Docker on our embedded device. I hope I don't have to tell you why it is a bad idea. But there are people who argue for it. Usually it goes in the term of like, everyone is using it, I can locally build it, and it's fully hermetic. What to do with that is, unfortunately here you have to go deeply and explain the difference between being reproducible and being hermetic. Otherwise, you will have a bad time. And even if you start doing it, you will get this. That Docker is hermetic, of course, right? So we will build the image, and it will be always there somewhere, and we can always revert back to it. And then you have to explain, like, okay, disaster recovery, what happens if we lose data center? And it is like, yeah, okay, like we will just recreate it, right? And then you have to go into the whole discussion of why procedural things do not always like result in the same thing. And the best help here I can give is show them, use RPM and show them differences between different Docker files. Build the same Docker files with same RPM inputs and show how layers change. This sometimes helps, and if not, you're in a bad time. This is a good one. We are dealing with embedded device. We want to have as slim image as possible. Yeah, Docker layers will somehow save us. This haunts me to this day. Docker Compose is all we need. No shade on Docker Compose, but I think running it on an embedded device is a bad idea. Again, it's the appeal of the cargo cult. Everyone is doing it, therefore we should do it everywhere. Usually, technical discussion here helps. And this is my favorite one. YAML is more reliable because it's easier to read. I don't know how those words fit together, and I was stuck really hard on the meeting when I heard it. But usually what you have to show there is there are those wonderful websites that show you the Norway problem and every other problem that is with the YAML. That if you structure it a bit different, it all breaks down, and it's not fun anymore. Okay, everything uses Docker Kubernetes now. Again, appeal to being with the trend. And you just simply have to show that embedded devices, in this case, are not really built for that. We can build something in Flatpak. And again, it shows a bit lack of understanding of how things works. Bonus round, LLMs are recently a thing, right? So it's annoying because what you can be doing is you will be telling someone to a person, you will be DMing them, and they will be copying and pasting your responses to ChatGPT and going back to you with a response. And it is extremely frustrating. My advice to recognize it is give a theoretical that ChatGPT will not have a strong opinion over. This is how you can recognize that you are arguing by proxy with LLM. And it's not funny, but it's corporate. Okay, and again, LLM has wrote makefiles for me that are hermetic. Again, words don't fit together, and usually you just have to show the code and do make and show that it breaks. If it doesn't break, you can show that it relies on stuff outside of the makefile. Okay, I am in the overdrive mode. Now we are dealing with C-suite, product owner, product manager, product lead, anything P and Latin alphabet. This is my favorite challenge. It's a not real engineer. So that is my favorite quote. You have to be pragmatic. You are hired to do great things. You are using reproducible builds. Why are you focused on making things reproducible? Surely they can fail once in a while. There is no arguing out of it. You just have to dig in your heels and say, I am hired to be a reproducibly focused person. Otherwise, you are given ground and becoming unhappy. Go fast and break things. There might be some wisdom in those words, but usually when not a real engineer people are telling you that, they mean do your job bad, and maybe in future you will get to fix that. Usually, to argue out of that, you just have to give them cost analysis of if it's broken now, we'll spend months fixing it. Then, a real engineer would quickly do it. Those people really like to appeal to your sense of pride and say that, like, if you cannot complete this task in a time frame with those conditions, then you're a bad person, you're doing a bad job. And all I can say is just like tough luck. You have to get impervious to such comments because they will be appearing constantly. Yeah, this is another one. If those people notice that you are slow, they will throw people at you. People that have no experience with Nix, people who have no experience with build systems. And natural response could be, hey, I will help those people learn. I will help them grow. Don't do that. Because literally you will be months behind the work. They usually don't appreciate that help and they don't want to learn. Nothing against them, but it's just how corporate works. If you see this thing happening, fight hard not to have it happen. Otherwise, you will be doubly burdened with work. Just add binary outputs as input to Nix derivation. That's another one. It will be reproducible. Here, we are getting at the level of there is no arguing. Like, you just have to say them, like maybe not use Nix at this point. My favorite prefix, just. You get some POs, PLs that touch technology, and they will be saying, like, how hard can it be? Just use the thing that was on the past. And you really have to then confront them and make them face the reality that you are being hired to implement Nix. So without Nix, this doesn't really work. You don't get the benefits, and the whole project is pointless. That's another one, and I am finishing, pretty promise. Why rewrite it? We just want a few improvements. And this usually comes in the form of, we have been using makefiles whole life. We decided to go through Nix. Why we are rewriting some of those things? Can we just slap Nix on the top? And then again, you just have to show them what it means to add those few improvements. Again, cost analysis. Yeah, that I will just skip that. And finally, 1 minute. There is the saying, you are the company you keep. And if you are within such company, how not to become a person that has those strong technical feelings without any backing? And it might simple and idealistic, but first you have to be humble. So even if you're surrounded by people that you think they do not know better, once in a while, they know better. So first, you have to get off your high horse. Secondly, be patient. Sometimes it takes a long time to get the bottom of the things, why things work a certain way. And you have to be listening-oriented first. So this is a huge benefit to anyone working with the corporate. Even if you are surrounded by madness, listen first. Because most likely than not, there is a reason, deeply hidden somewhere within the dungeon of your corporation, why the things are ordered in such a way. And this is the most hard one. If you are constantly bombarded with decisions that you don't agree and you know that my time is up, then you have to firmly oppose that. And lastly, this book was published many, many years ago, and I highly recommend it because it helps you. I'm not done. Sorry.
Hey, thank you very much, but I think we don't really have time for questions, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's okay. Just
Yeah?
catch me afterwards.
Okay.